Please subscribe for notifications about future videos from us, including Leeds Service Crew and Birmingham Zulus. One of the most well-liked sports teams in the world is Manchester United. The Manchester United Supporters Club has branches in more than 200 legally recognised nations. Although there has been a drop in hooliganism over the past few decades, United was not immune to the scourge when it was at its worst. The Red Army was the biggest and most well-known hooligan group that supported Manchester United. They originally gained notoriety during the 1974-1975 campaign, when United was playing in the English second level. They would cause havoc and go all across the nation, at times even outnumbering the home crowd. The group is so big that different sub-firms have developed or are visible. There are the Young Munichs, the Intercity Jibbers, ICJ, M58 Firm, and the Moston Rats. The Men in Black, named after their members' all-black attire, is another. In Colin Blaney's book Undesirables, he claims that the ICJ is particularly committed to offences other than just hooliganism. They also organise jailbreaks, rob people on the street, and smuggle drugs. The 1985 film Hooligan, which was centred on West Ham United's trip to Old Trafford in the FA Cup's sixth round, included the Red Army. It depicts battles between the Red Army and the Intercity Firm, ICF, in and around Manchester. They also appeared in the documentary series The Real Football Factories, a Life on Mars program from the BBC focused on football hooliganism committed by Manchester United supporters in the 1970s. Former member and founder of the Red Army Tony O'Neill has written 2 books on it. Red Army General in 2005, which focused on the 1970s and early 1980s, and The Men in Black in 2006, which covered the history from the middle of the 1980s to the present. In the book 21 Toughest Hooligan British Firms Ever, by Paul Gratis, the Red Army are listed at number 7 toughest firm of all time behind the likes of Millwall Bushwhackers and West Ham's ICF. The name, Red Army, is now frequently used to refer to all Manchester United fans, not simply the Ultras. Although there have also been fights with rival fan groups, most notably AS Roma, hooliganism has also significantly diminished. The former Red Army's most active and criminal organisation is still the ICJ. Most notable events in the Red Army's history. Please note, most matches against Man United were incredible events during the 70s especially, so this list is just the tip of the iceberg, and only represents the events I have been made aware of. There are probably thousands more. May 1967 West Ham v Man United. United were crowned champions of England and thrashed West Ham 6-1 at Up. Legend has it that all sides of the ground were taken by United's Red Army, hours before the kick-off, and it still rankles to this day with the West Ham hardcore. It was the start of many decades of hatred between the two sets. 1972 Man United v Liverpool. The Stretford end poured onto the field, charging the Scousers in the scoreboard. It was chaos, and mounted police had to be sent onto the pitch to restore order. 1972 Spurs v Man United. 1974 Man United v Rangers, friendly. Another infamous day with Rangers allegedly taking the Stretford end. The local newspaper did a story about the horrific events. Red Army Governor Tony O'Neill talks about the match fighting in his book The Men in Black, inside Manchester United's football hooligan firm. 1974 Everton v Man United. The Red Army get a terrible beating outside Stanley Park and the Scotty Road area, with Everton thugs slashing them with their Stanley knives. It's written about in Tony O'Neill's book Red Army General. 1974 Sheffield Wednesday v Man United. A day of legend for many older Owls fans, when the Red Army took over Hillsborough, even taking the famous Sheffield Cop, by all accounts. This was in the days when Man United had been relegated from the First Division. It was quite an event. 1975 Bolton v Man United. United fans take the Bolton end the lever. Seems like they were everywhere except for a few brave Bolton lads on the lever end trying to defend their territory, with trouble continuing throughout the game and afterwards in the surrounding streets and station. 1975 West Ham v Man United. This is the legendary Battle of the West Ham South Bank, where the ICF moved into the United side of the stand and created havoc. The ensuing violence caused a crush and fans were injured and had to be lifted over the barriers to safety. West Ham's ICF claimed they the victors on the day, but United claim they held firm. I guess we will never really know, only the people who were there at the time, and even then, we probably need a neutral to believe. (1977) Norwich v Man United. The Red Army terrorized almost everywhere they went these days, and Norwich were about to feel the full force of the mighty Red Army and a very bad day. The YouTube video shows hordes of Red Army fans swarming out of the ground with trashing the stadium and attacks on the police commonplace. (1977) St Etienne v Man United. Trouble involving the Red Army at St Etienne of France. This battle led to United's Red Army being banned from Europe, but the decision was overturned. 33 people taken to hospital and scores of arrests. 1980 Middlesbrough v Man United. Lots of trouble at this match with a Red Army invasion. Unfortunately, as the Red Army was trying to get out of some gates after the match, a wall collapsed, and 2 Borough fans lost their lives. 1985 Liverpool v Man United. United fans get in the Kop early and announce themselves by throwing a firework into the Kop. After much fighting and running about, the United fans are taken to another part of the ground. One of only 2 times anyone tried to take the Kop. A documentary was made on the visit of United to Anfield during a bad time for soccer violence. Liverpool v Man United, Cup semi-final, Goodison Park. Marred by violence, 2 fans were stabbed, and 2 policemen injured, while a flare was fired at United supporters and Jesper Olsen was struck by a missile while taking a corner. Major trouble after the game, with Scousers uniting to attack the Red Army wherever they could. August 1986 Dutch ferry Koningen Beatrix incident. West Ham v Man United. About 150 rival English soccer fans, the ICF of West Ham and the Red Army of Manchester United, battled with knives and broken bottles aboard a North Sea ferry early Friday in a bloody brawl that left 4 people seriously injured. A 21-year-old man from Manchester was hospitalised with head injuries in poor but stable condition. 3 others were treated for stab wounds after the ferry, bound for the Netherlands, was forced to turn back to England, police said. Dozens of police were waiting at the English port of Harwich and made 14 arrests. Another 110 soccer fans were put on a train for London with a police escort. (1999) Middlesbrough v Man United. Lots of trouble at this match, all caught on a police surveillance camera. The Red Army is taken on by the Borough front line. 2004 Rangers v Man United. 300 black shirts take it to the Rangers ICF in one of the first England overcoming the Scots events. 2005 Everton v Man United, the Battle of Everton Valley. The Red Army, a firm connected to Manchester United, and the Cutters engaged in one of the most well-known conflicts between them in 2005. After the match, which Everton won 1-0 on the strength of a Duncan Ferguson-headed goal, hooligan supporters of the two clubs got into a fight outside Goodison Park. By no means an exhaustive list. There are many more Red Army events, but these should entertain for now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to help our channel grow.